Duncan,
Idaho.
Idaho.
I mean,
Literally.
look, right, okay.
His surname
look,
is literally a place in...
The names Duncan and Idaho going together, and you saying that's normal, is not normal. Okay, Duncan, Idaho is like it's like a shit LA script protagonist name. It's just like, right, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's from California, obviously, because what would a nice, good American name be? Duncan, Idaho. Holy. But so take a seat. Take a seat. We went to see Dune.
Yes.
Which was a film.
Dune.
Oh no. But yeah. So I mean, you two missed it, but you say. But I was a bit surprised that they put part 1 in the actual title sequence. Not that there was much for one, but.
I feel, got to be honest, sometimes. I can imagine if you... I mean, I didn't notice the part 1, but I knew like a part 2 was planned.
Yeah.
And I imagine you'd just be like, what? If like there was no part 1 and you didn't know that? But if it didn't say part 1 and you didn't know that there was another one coming.
Yeah.
Well, even though everyone probably assumes there is. But like, just, what happens in the film, you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it softens the blow of what happens in the end.
Yeah.
Not to get too ahead of ourselves, but,
what do you mean it was a film? That's your. Is that now your neutral reaction?
No. Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're just starting.
I know. It's just usually when you
usually use because it's not like a movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, but usually when he's doing that tone, it's because he's about to trash something.
Nervous laughter. No, not at all. But yeah, it's we've got some general thoughts. We'll go through the film in a bit, but it was if you've seen any review or even if you've seen trailers, I think you can guess that it's a very very cinematic movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean it is a bit of a trademark for. I don't want to say it wrong, but is it Denis Villeneuve? I trash the French accent, right? I'm quite famous for being absolutely terrible at it. So
I don't think he's French, is he?
Is he French Canadian or something?
Oh, maybe. You know what? I had plans to research him shortly before we recorded this, and I got distracted by pizza and wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So
show and wrestling in that order.
Yeah. But he's great. So this is his 3rd film in a row, which I've loved.
Yeah, he's French Canadian.
What are his other ones?
Oh, okay. So Arrival, the Amy Adams film.
I know
with
it.
Jeremy
Renner.
Yeah, it's really good.
I know it, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
And Blade Runner 2049 is really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's
okay.
Sicario. That's a great film.
Yeah, that is really good. I think he's the only director I would have not been like, oof, just because 2049 shouldn't have worked.
And it did.
Yeah, I mean, it has a good script, but it's just like a long sequel to a film that didn't really need, like a long-awaited sequel to a film that didn't.
Well, my understanding from just my very, very limited understanding of Dune, I didn't even know it was a book till I knew it was a video game, a strategy game I played when I went to Sam's as a kid, and it was like you mined the things and stuff like that. So it was, and there was almost, I don't know, it was homages in this, but it was like very reminiscent of the game, the way the collectors were and stuff like that of it, and you have to avoid the worms and stuff. Obviously, I wouldn't have picked up on anything more to the story or anything. And then years later, still in my teens, found out that it was a book. But my understanding usually, quite a complex book.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot going on. So I was actually walking to this, not neutral. I remember me and you hiding our ears and eyes, trying not to see too much.
Yeah.
But we've been cinema so much, I've inevitably seen little bits. But still didn't know what to expect. But I didn't think this should have worked. I went into this kind of expecting, it's just not gonna land.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people have said it's unfilmable.
Which
is why he was
especially there was a film and it didn't do well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to that, but just because 2049, I don't think should have worked. Like,
Yeah.
Blade Runner, does that need a sequel? It doesn't.
No.
But that was great.
Yeah.
So when I was like, oh, they're making that, found out who was directing it.
Yeah.
Guy whose name I don't know how to pronounce properly.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy the work of. I was convinced it would be good.
Yeah, it gave you faith,
Absolutely,
which is that's a good sign. Yeah,
I was
that's
a
a
bit
good
nervous.
sign, director.
I mean, it's a bit unfair of me, but like the one bit I saw from like the trailer where I like didn't hide my eyes, or just caught was Jason Momoa doing that bit where he's like, oh, he put some muscle on. He's like, really? He's like, no. And I just thought, it just seems like it's going to be too sort of like jockey bro in this film and not really going to fit. But it was actually great.
No, absolutely. That was that was that bit. That was it. That was it. And other than that, it was very Big Brother kind of vibes. Sort of, but not in a jockey kind of way. Yeah.
No, and he fit the world, which I didn't think he would. I just felt like it seemed like, and Jason Momoa.
Yeah, because you've read it, and
like,
did he play the role well?
Yeah.
From what you've read of the guy so far.
I think so. Yeah, because what I was saying about like, I can see why they had cast him. Besides the fact he's a big name, is that character Duncan Idaho, is just a guy who's really cool and everyone loves him.
Yeah.
And like that's basically Jason Momoa, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah, he's Jason Momoa. Yeah, he's just so lovable.
I mean, usually in these podcasts we say the whole plot.
Oh, so
or try to.
I'll volunteer.
I mean, we're gonna have to summarize a little bit. I do not have 2.5 hours.
No. Right. So basically, there's a beautiful space twink, and he
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, Tim Night Shyamalan. He's basically on the path to becoming Space Jesus after his family get given a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice little wrap up of the first 30 minutes of the film there, Joe. Well done. If only they'd been as lean. Actually, I didn't think the film was overly long. I feel like it was quite right.
They gave everything like space to breathe. I mean, obviously
space.
Oh.
Yeah.
He said it.
I said it. But I tell you what, I'll give it a quick go.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Give it a quick go.
What, serious go? Or like, yeah, okay, go on.
Do a quick, don't summarise it as quickly as you did there, because there's a lot of good scenes you just missed out.
So, House Atreides.
Yeah.
They're like a noble family who run a planet. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of these noble families in space.
In the universe,
it's not like they all float in space.
They mentioned an emperor by this point.
There's an emperor who rules them all.
Yeah.
And Atreides have had like a long running conflict with the Harkonnens, who are evil and ugly. Whereas Atreides, good guys, good looking.
Oscar Isaac, sexy.
Yeah, exactly. So at the very start of the film, we're told that the Atreides are getting a planet called Arrakis, otherwise known as Dune, a desert planet. They are getting that from the Harkonnens, and on that planet is spice, which people need to travel great distances through space.
The most valuable
resource
in the galaxy. That's in the universe. I think it says.
Yeah,
the thing I noticed in this, it's universe, not galaxy.
Well, because the galaxy is like.
That's what I'm saying. It's a bigger.
Oh yes, huge.
Yeah.
Huge scale. And then they get there, and they're like, "Oh, this ain't right." And you know what? They're correct. It's a trap. But the important thing to remember is also Timothée Chalamet. He has got these powers from his mum because he's a Bene Gesserit, and they're like space witches.
Space witches, basically. Yeah.
And they're all for the greater good. Supposedly, they've got their own agenda.
But there's a sinisterness to them. Yeah.
And they're breeding. They're trying to. Oh, get all the good genes together.
They literally, they say it, isn't it? They pretty much orchestrated it so that he was supposed to be a girl.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she had a choice.
Yeah, I think she can control which one she.
And she chose a boy.
Yeah.
And he is basically the byproduct of, I don't know about centuries, but a lot. So he has got his.
She actually says we measure our success in centuries.
Yeah, and he's been.
Which is very convenient because just talk about putting off. Do you know what I mean?
And they've literally
your performance review every 1,000 years.
He's
taking a piss a bit.
Hey, look, I might not be doing too well now, but 50 years time.
There's micromanaging, and then there's just letting them roam free across the universe.
But yeah, he's basically the byproduct of crossing every thing, every gene almost, right? That's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, I just like
Of
a lot
the main
of just
houses.
good breeding. Yeah, from
Yeah,
like
the
main
main
houses. And the
houses, yeah.
idea was that their plan was that she would have a daughter, so that then he can that daughter would be able to marry the Harkonnen male heir, and then hopefully create this Messiah that they keep referencing, who I don't remember the name of.
But his
And,
mum had. Oh, it was a hard one to remember.
Also, they
to be
might
fair.
even
I'd
have
need to read it
more
to learn it. I wouldn't be able to
than-
say it from
yeah.
hearing it.
I think they might even have more than one name for this Messiah. Here's
Oh,
the thing,
okay.
right? So normally, with like a chosen one in a film, I get a bit annoyed.
Yeah, I do.
But
And I
here's
was
the
a
thing.
bit when they started using the one aspect in this.
Yeah.
My gates went up a bit. Like fuck's sake.
Well,
But
here's the thing. Why it didn't annoy me as much is that it's... Well, I knew it from the book, but and I've only read half the book because it's a lot to take in. And
yeah.
anywho, I mean, the book was written in 1948 or something like that. So there's been a lot of things that have come after that. You know what I mean? Before it was like a worn out trope.
So you think this almost might have been one of the original chosen ones?
That
Sort
I'm
of
aware
thing?
of, yeah. And
Fair
also the fact that right from the start, people this guy could be like the chosen one, and he's even referenced as a messiah. He's not, like say John Connor.
Yeah.
It's like an obvious kind of stand-in for Jesus. It's like Christ.
Yeah. I get
He's
it.
literally referenced as being the Messiah.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that right from the off. Is he's the chosen one. He's the Messiah. It could be anyway. Better watch out.
Yeah.
Whereas normally in a film where someone finds out they're the chosen one, it's but me, I'm just normal. What do you mean?
Yeah. He's exactly.
It's always
he's
like
being
that.
trained.
It's
Yeah.
like-
Whereas this guy's very much God, you're fucking great, you. And he's like, yeah, I know.
It was written in 1965,
Oh,
but also still very early on, especially for sci-fi novels that could be taken quite seriously.
yeah.
This
know what I mean?
this gave me big Star Wars vibes, but I was aware while I was watching it as well that this was pre-Star Wars.
Yeah, very
So
much
I'm
so.
wondering if there's even aspects that Lucas maybe drew from maybe reading this book.
Maybe I know he was.
There's a lot of origins of that kind of sci-fi. Even the way they transported with the interstellar thing that reminded me of Mass Effect, which is
Right.
already known as a collective of sci-fi things anyway.
Right.
So it's very much feels almost like one of the early parent films, I guess, of sci-fi as we know it. That
Yeah,
sort of
I
that
think
that
it's-
spacey sci-fi.
I think it's referenced, not referenced. Sorry, I think it's influenced a lot of things. A lot of films.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of that John Carter of Mars. I think
Yes.
it's called John Carter.
Yeah,
Whereas by the time that came out, everyone was it rips off a lot of stuff. Whereas it was so old, the story, the book of it was so old that everything had ripped that off.
yeah. This is an
Another
element of
film
this
that
to that.
was labelled as unmakeable.
Yes.
John Carter.
Yeah, and I, to be fair, I didn't like it.
Disney found a way to do it badly, so
Yeah.
sometimes that should just stay in the box.
Yeah. We'll get this guy to do it. So before we get to what's it called? What's the planet they go to?
Arrakis.
Arrakis. I mentioned the car, but I was holding off on it. There's a brilliant line in it, and this is where I'm a sop for father, sons, brothers, siblings, that sort of thing.
Right.
The bit where he says, and this is where I knew that okay, this guy's a good guy, and it's literally when they think, oh, you answer the call, I'm like, oh, fuck. And if you say no, you'll still be everything you need to be. And I was like, that's beautiful. Oh my god, that was such a beautiful line.
Whereas I was.
I mean, you're telling him that he's got this path to tread, but you're not forcing him to do it, but you're giving him the choice to do it, but basically saying he's going to do it, and then you did a whole thing that at least at the end of the day, you're not disappointed in him. It's, oh god.
Whereas I was thinking, but better make an heir.
Yeah.
You don't mention him having a brother or any cousins or anything.
Yeah,
so
no.
you want to make sure you carry on that Atreides name. Yeah?
I mean, that's kind of how it works. So he's like, you can do whatever you like.
As long as you are the heir to my
I was going to say, but at least pork someone.
Doesn't even have to be a wife because I never married your mother. She's a concubine.
Yeah.
They don't refer to her as that many times. Just the once.
Just the ones.
But one of the off-putting things when I was reading the book is they've called her concubine a few times, and
Yeah.
I'm not that comfortable with it.
I feel like
What-
if they
so-
mention it that many times, then obviously he's just like, look, I'm writing it, and it's coming from my heart. I just want one.
Damn it, wife.
Sometimes the subtext just is not, is only skin deep.
Admittance of ignorance. I've heard the word. What does it mean exactly?
So concubine is.
Cool.
I mean, it's
Baby machine.
Oh, I just thought it was like more of a mistress, right? A
Yeah,
concubine?
it is a mistress. Yeah.
And like,
Okay. So it's usually something you give when you've already got a wife.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's not. You know,
Oh.
if someone was like, you know, if back in olden day, if we were some powerful men, which obviously we're incredibly powerful now.
Yeah.
But you know, if we had fiefdoms or fiefdoms, whatever, and they were like, I'm going to marry my concubine, you'd be like, no. You know, concubine is not the marrying kind.
Yeah.
I think it might have been very much, you know, like they refer to things as a harem thing. Like
Yeah.
a group of women that a guy can have sex with as a harem. God, it's horrible, this conversation.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a bit weird that she's a concubine. Just leave it at that.
Yeah. But it was written in the 60s, so.
Yeah. Also, so the Ben Gesserit, everyone's kind of acknowledges that they're like playing the long game and sort of trying to influence things.
Yeah.
I mean, like, was no one like, are you taking that Ben Gesserit as a concubine? Yeah, I am. Yeah. I mean, do you not think she's like plotting something?
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, it's really fit though.
Yeah, she's a space witch. Yeah.
He does.
Also the mother of my child. Yeah.
He kind of does. He sort of acknowledges it in a bit where he says literally like they're in the room and he's literally like, right, look, you know, I've always overlooked things, even when you're in the shadows.
She gives a look as if to say, you noticed that?
Yeah, like, he's like,
It's been decades.
He basically, the scene is basically, look, cut the shit. I know all these years there's an element here. You've got an agenda, we know it, but I love you and stuff.
I
But
know you
as long as you're going to look,
hide under the table when we have meetings.
but as long as you look after our son, it's like okay, cool. And then so I did like they did acknowledge that, but yeah, there is an element of like, are you sure
Her?
the witch, the witch, and the
Oh
witch?
yeah, definitely her. Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
100.
Like I wasn't aware the dad knew that until that scene that he knew that the son was seeing her mentor.
Yeah.
They kind of made it seem like it was so no one can know, and he kind of went since he spoke to her, he's not been the same sort of thing. So I don't know if he was supposed to even know that kind of thing.
I mean, it's his kingdom. He should know everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And he maybe has
He's a good
eyes
king.
everywhere.
He was a good king.
Beautiful Oscar Isaac eyes.
He
Yeah.
was,
To be fair, I'd tell him anything.
honestly, he's a good. He was a good king. I liked all that. But
I said this earlier, but good casting. Like his parents, so is Oscar Isaacs and Rebecca Ferguson. Like you could see how Timothy Chalamet could come from those genes.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you said it. But yeah. There's casting overall, which is really so. Like you said, Momoa, by the sounds of it, was cast element being Momoa, but played it well. Like that.
Really well.
Josh Brolin done his bit brilliantly. I like the kind
As
of like
the captain of the guard, Gurney.
yeah. I was kind of waiting for him to
What a name.
almost be.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to kind of be a bad guy.
Oh really? Oh, because you're used to him.
He's so trigger happy. No. Him and his team
Oh, constantly
were
putting knives on
such
Yeah.
trigger happy, but with swords. Anytime, anything. And the amount of times, I swear to God, there was about 3 or 4 times in the film where Oscar Isaac's like, he's actually like, or Sir Atreides, I don't know what his first name was, but
people. I think Leto,
Atreides,
that guy.
huh?
I think it's Duke Leto Atreides.
Yeah.
Ah. But
Duke Leo.
yeah, Duke, he's a Duke, so isn't he? Yeah. And then he kind of literally was just like, it's fine, I've got it. And then they do it again. He's like, it's okay, we've got it. And then someone else breaks it. Chill.
Just constantly putting knives on
Like, just like,
Also, right, there's a bit. To be fair, this one bit kind of annoyed me. Very minor thing, but there's like right at the start, House Atreides are all out ready to meet like the Emperor's herald to sign this like the document that says they're gonna take over Arrakis, and it's all very formal. And he goes to Gurney. Gurney smile, and he's like, "I am smiling," which is just to set up the Josh Brolin's character. It's very no nonsense. However, it's very formal. No one's smiling. Why would he tend to smile? Minor nitpick.
I don't think
I
he
see where
was,
you're coming from.
I don't think.
In it, yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
don't
one
think
was.
he was smiling.
No one else is
Just
smiling.
blank stone
Definitely
faces.
not Timothy
Maybe-
Chalamet.
No,
I mean,
no,
maybe
no.
it was an in-joke between the two of them.
Maybe.
Maybe he does it every time.
Also, the one time you do see him smile is when he like just runs into battle and he's like, "Follow me."
Honestly, there was a
Yeah.
few times.
Oh, I'm gonna stab some people up because
That's what he lives for.
And the other
I'm a
time,
psychopath.
the other time as well, we like is when he's training Poe. Is it Poe or Paul?
Paul.
Paul, as in
A very.
the normal name.
Oh my good.
Like,
Oh
it's
my
Paul.
good name. It's literally the only normal name.
No, I know, but
his mum's called Jessica.
because it's
Oh,
so.
is it?
And
yeah,
also
yeah.
I
there's
didn't know that. I just know
Yeah, the
it's
mum's called
Rebecca
Jessica.
Ferguson.
But
And there's Duncan, Idaho. Is that
Idaho.
I mean,
plays
look,
America.
right? Okay,
his
look,
surname
look,
is
look,
literally
look.
a place in.
Look. The names Duncan and Idaho going together, and you saying that's normal, is not normal. Okay.
You know, like
But
Duncan,
there's definitely-
Idaho is like
there's
it's like
definitely-
a shit LA scripts protagonist name. It's just like right. I don't know. Like
Oh, my dad was called Duncan.
Yeah, no, he's from
where are we?
California, obviously, because you know that's just how it is. What would a nice, good American name be? Duncan, Idaho. Holy shit!
Irish or Celtic, and a place in America doesn't get more.
you know,
But,
the other guy's called Jason, California.
I missed him. But
Duncan, Idaho's brother.
played by The Rock.
Yeah.
Simon Detroit.
But
yeah, the Paul is
it is
easily,
cool. Yeah, but
and that's also my dad's name. But I'm
my
also, it's just
brothers.
like in comparison to everything that's every other character name, you're just like every time they say his name out loud, I'm like, are you sure?
yeah, I know.
Are you
was
sure his name's
I was
Paul?
convinced I was missing. I was just hearing him say Poe with an accent because I was like, "There's no way it's Paul."
Well,
I'm
it
hearing
is.
Paul. I was absolutely hearing Paul, but I'm like, "There's no way it's Paul." It must be like an accent
It's
thing.
like Luke
where they
in,
say.
it's like Luke in Star Wars, isn't it?
I was going to say that it's the equivalent
True.
of Luke in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Literally, like everyone else has got a normal name
Look at just
except
listen,
Ben.
Listen to all
Oh,
of
Ben.
the other names
Right.
that are just like thrown around, like for planets or for people. So you've obviously like got House Harkonnen.
Mm-hmm.
You got the planet that the House Atreides is from, which is Caladan. And then you've got Arrakis or Dune, you know, and then yeah, just going through some of these names.
Something of Gaia, the place where the Harakians are from.
I don't remember what that's called. I know the
Dr. Leia Kennis?
Is that the one that betrays them?
Not sure.
I knew the name of the villain. Is that Baron?
Oh no, he's got a very normal name.
Oh, is
The
it?
Baron, yeah, it's Vladimir.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
it is Russian, but yeah.
That's,
I mean, now you can tell it was made in the 60s.
yeah, the subtext. Those commies are gonna get you.
Yeah, exactly.
Those Jam Carvies.
So yeah, having your protagonist of the whole shebang called Paul, again, is a little bit throwing me off, but I'm okay with it because you do need some anchor points.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this is very made up word heavy,
Yeah, it's one of the things.
which
that
can
makes-
be a little bit distracting.
Yeah, I find it's something I found kind of distracting when it came to reading it.
Yeah.
But also, it's a good idea to give him a name that's relatable because he is a beautiful space prince. It's not that relatable.
And he's supposed to be
Yeah, that's
relatable.
true,
Yeah. But I think he plays it fantastically. I was getting a lot of in the way he speaks and some of it sometimes very kind of like Adam Driver vibes in his voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
kind of that kind of like it's something about the way his American accent hits. He does it as Kylo Ren a bit, Adam Driver, and there was that kind of like it was the way he'd speak sometimes. It was like that. I can't explain. It's kind of like a thick American accent, but it's like it kind of you can feel it hits here. It's quite good. I quite like that. But I love that the sound in general was that kind of
The
like.
score's incredible. Though.
But even the sound, the way they speak, and it was
so
recorded.
the voice, that
Yeah.
the way he like the Ben Gesserit and then him because he's trained him in their ways. If they speak a certain way, they can like control you.
Yeah.
and they'd have that like and, like weird sound effect.
Yeah.
I really like that, and
But
it
even
shit
just
me
the
up
normal
every
speech.
time.
Yeah.
So
It was full of the. What was so good about the music is the bit where he is with the witch and he's got his hand in the thing. Still very early in the film, still working it out and don't know some background of it. So I'm kind of like still trying to work it out, which I think you're supposed to. It was designed that way for some types of the audience anyway. I'm like, who the fuck's this guy? But that bit where he's like struggling and then he just kind of the music kicks in and he looks up. I was invested. I was like, yeah, fuck this bitch up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, you carry on. And it's just a bit where he's just literally like staring at her and she's kind of reacting. I was literally like, I was pumped. There was like an element of pumped about me. I was like, just the way the music hit, the way he looked, I'm like, yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I don't know what it is, but I'm behind it.
Nice.
But I found that a lot of bits in the film
You
where
exclaimed it out loud in the cinema in that voice.
I did. Actually, I went, yeah! anyone in Stevenage Cinema on the 22nd of.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you had a sudden yeah. That was me.
Yeah,
that was me.
It's just one person clapped at the end. I felt sorry for.
Yeah. I think they thought everyone else was going to be like, yeah, I'm with you, and just everyone applauding, standing up. It's just not what we do here.
No.
I mean, if
Although
the guys who made it were like also there, I'd probably like give a clap, you know.
Yeah.
But they're not, as far as I know.
I think last time I clapped was Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
say.
That was the last
Didn't
time
even
there was a whole
clap
standing
for
clap in the
Endgame
audience.
no, not obviously.
Oh, actually, did we
Endgame,
clap for
maybe?
Endgame? Did we
Yeah, I
clap for
think so.
Endgame? I think we maybe clapped for Endgame.
I
mean, it's
didn't clap
But I
for
feel like maybe at the end of this we will.
I didn't clap for that.
Maybe.
I had a
At
glass.
the end of this.
I had a glass and I just tapped my spoon on it, made a little speech.
Nice.
Yeah, we did. To this day,
Well, it was Endgame's big day, so you
Yeah.
were just like,
to this day,
I'm gonna have to give a
wondered.
speech.
I
I
mean,
wondered where you got that glass. And where did it go afterwards? There was no glass afterwards. But
Yeah, no, I dropped it and
one
there was no break.
of life's mysteries.
Yeah.
It was just as you know.
Yeah, I don't know where I got a spoon from. That is a joke. Obviously.
You very much
I
manifested
carry a
it.
spoon at most
I feel like
times,
you probably
most
manifested it.
occasions.
You definitely manifested it.
Yeah. Just like my sister did with my job. Enough of that. Yeah, manifesting, it works. It's magic.
Magic.
Ben Gesserit. She's Ben Gesserit.
Rounding it back to the topic at hand.
Exactly.
But yes, so I feel like the music. There was elements of this where it is a bit of if you're not familiar with the material, source material, stuff like that. There was a lot of it like, okay, what's going on? And but I would never at any point be like, the fuck's going on? It was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of working out there. And then as soon like if the film wanted me in that moment to suddenly, I need you to feel like this. The music accompanied it perfectly. I'm like, oh, okay. And it sometimes almost gave context to what was going on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a bit hard to read and a bit quiet. So you're like, and then the music will kick in a certain way. You're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just so. Everything was just so perfect. The power of music. It was
there's a lot of, like, vocals,
so well done.
There? Like a lot of sort of waving vocals. But then like including like bits where normally you'd think there'd be like exciting sort of score. It was just kind of like multiple sort of voices, like sounding kind of distressed. Like it was a very like it lent a lot of sort of weight and gravity and emotion to it.
It was very orchestral. Yeah. Like, but you were saying
Zimmer,
in the action bits, in it.
Was it?
I mean,
I believe it was Hans Zimmer, but like it wasn't very trademark.
It wasn't very Hans Zimmery.
no, he's kind of off book.
It was Hans Zimmer.
Maybe getting back to his roots as a orchestral conductor. Maybe I don't know.
I wouldn't no, because I thought it was just very different and weird.
Yeah.
Score.
It was good. It was very good. Like you're saying, the action bits weren't like action music.
No.
They were very almost slow, but it fitted. It was.
Well, it was more just sort of like it wasn't sort of this is an exciting fight. This was like people are dying and that's a bad thing.
Yeah. It was all very.
Which is again very unlike Hans Zimmer. You know, because a lot of the time it's just like, isn't this violence exciting?
And I've been programmed to be like, yeah, they're killing each other. You know, I'm used to that now. But so I guess what
Hans Zimmer was part of that.
he was. I guess what I've learned from this film is that killing's bad.
I didn't learn anything.
Okay.
So
I know that spice is good shit.
yeah. Here's the thing with the spice, which is the whole reason why everyone is on the planet, bar those who were born there.
The Fremen.
Yeah,
completely forgot to mention the Fremen. They're the natives. They live out in the desert. Very tough. Very mysterious.
I like them.
Great scene with the Fremen.
Cool races.
Javier Bardem. He's like introduces their leader. Spits on the table. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Jason Momoa steps in. He's been like hanging out with them. He's like, "Oh no. Cheers for that. Thanks.
You
we
sharing your
spit too because sharing your water. Desert planet. He spits on the table. Everyone spits on the
Water's
table.
very precious.
Oh, that's a little prank. It's not really a nice thing to do out there. It's just it's just like
Taking a piss.
Yeah, I'd be well for that. Just,
Laying down your mark, really.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah, very much so. Also, very much post-COVID, wouldn't fly.
I mean,
None of them
they're a
touched
little
it,
bit
to be
post-COVID,
fair.
seeing as it was set in the year 10,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, COVID will still be around, but it's going to be a bit of a distant memory.
Maybe it'll become our friend by then.
Yeah, sweet. It does a team up where in like movies where the bad guy teams up with humans.
Yes.
To kill another big bad. I feel like so at some point there's going to be a movie where
Get me COVID on the phone.
a really angry police sergeant can't get the job done with his detectives, so he has to call him back up.
And it's COVID.
Someone who he's put in prison personally, and that's COVID-19.
And he goes into a room and it's all the sealed kind of like
Yeah, it's like
white
Hannibal
and,
Lecter.
white and glass, that kind of like cage, and it's
Detective.
completely quarantine sealed, and it's just COVID in the.
What have I done to merit this lovely visit?
Something that you've been trying to get rid of for so long, detective. But Jed, you come crawling back to me.
So desperate for my help.
We've got to check out malaria. Anyway, so
The only-
COVID is in the rearview mirror in about 8,000 years' time.
Good to know.
So, well, hopefully, not many lockdowns between them.
all it took was interstellar travel.
Yeah.
And discovery of spice.
You can't run away from it forever. But yeah, the spice, going back to the point, is in reading about the film, and especially like the previous films, I'd literally never seen the material. Like you might be reading up on the film and be like, oh, they're there for spice. That's why the whole thing exists, basically. Never seen it. So I was just like, is it real? Is it just something that's like they say it?
Yeah.
But then I know you do kind of see it, but in any instance, I'm just like,
It's amongst loads of sand.
I'm doing like research. I'm just like, I've not seen any of this. Like, apparently they're making billions of pounds off of. I think this is all just a pyramid scheme or like a scam.
It's a vacation.
Yeah.
And the spice. So they just sort of reference it, but in the so basically there's this navigator guild or something. They're the only people that can sort of make space flight between like galaxies possible throughout the universe. They're like above everything because people need to get through space, and they can do that because
For space e-commerce, for Amazon space deliveries.
Yeah, exactly. William Shatner still involved, still flying around on their dime.
Nice.
No, but because it's like mind expanding, and they can help they like expand their minds so that they're able to sort of like calculate space. It vaguely know. What
I
I'm
mean
talking about.
that when they describe that, that's the bit where I'm like, okay. And they do just kind of gloss over it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like if they were to try and go into too much detail,
Yeah.
we probably would have added an hour to the movie.
I mean,
And
so
I feel
David-
like it would take you out the movie because it's the idea is everyone knows about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's no way of them
Makes
telling
sense.
us. One of
Yeah.
the things I liked about this is there wasn't any explanation. It's very much like, here is a world.
there were bits of exposition.
Watch things.
They were exposition.
There were exposition scenes where he is like Paul is watching.
The holotapes.
Yeah.
That's
about-
clever. Okay, yeah,
about,
fair enough. Yeah,
Arrakis.
yeah.
And that was nicely put in.
Because
Yeah.
that would make sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I did think that's surely that's lesson one.
Yeah, literally.
'Cause they're like-
No, I very
Arrakis
much
is a
got
planet.
I very much got the impression that this wasn't the first time he was listening to it.
So he's just going back over his notes.
Yeah, I feel like this was. Yeah, I did get kind of. He didn't even look
Get
like
ready
he
for
was.
the test.
He wasn't intently learning, was
Space
he?
school.
He had it on while he was doing like sitting or whatever.
Yeah,
so it was
doing
very
other
much like
things.
Well,
a.
I'm just going by my own.
like
standards.
having Netflix on in the background. He's just
Yeah.
got these on in the background whilst he broods.
He's
Yeah.
just having Always Sunny on while you do anything because you're so familiar with it, but never sick.
I'm just going by my own standards because, like, if my family were taking over a planet, I know I wouldn't have done enough research in time.
No.
No, I would be on lesson one like just a few weeks
No.
before.
Yeah, I'll be doing an all nighter before getting on a space orb.
trying to
yeah.
learn the greeting, which I don't think they actually had, but
okay.
I would insist on making one if not. But yeah, right from the start when they get to the planet, everyone's like, you might be the Messiah, you. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they know.
So
Well, I'm okay. I'm kind of okay with it because it's a faith thing.
So what they
it's-
mentioned is that the Bene Gesserit has been spreading that legend.
Oh, right, got it.
Oh,
Got it, got
sorry,
it,
yeah,
got it.
yeah. But the
those
way they
space witches, they
but
do work
there was
for
a lot
us.
of no, but there was a lot
Even
of
Space
though-
rooms.
Even though they literally take centuries to do so.
Yes.
But it was like a
They
lot
work
of the,
fast.
there was a lot of like they recognised they recognised him though, so there was an element of like
Yeah, and there's also, we forgot to mention, he's having like prophetic dreams
yeah,
about Zendaya.
Yeah.
His character's name's like Chidi or something.
and things that are coming or
Maybe-
hadn't at that point.
Yeah,
but
and it's sort of because Javier Bardem says, I recognise you to him.
Yeah.
And I guess he's seen Call Me By Your Name. No, I mean, I reckon he's...
He went to
maybe similar
Sundance.
dreams.
He saw the film.
He saw, yeah, he's...
it does seem maybe his sight is a little bit something related to the spice, so maybe those people have. I don't know.
Yeah,
do the
it's-
Fremen have some sort of sight?
So the Fremen have like these blue eyes from being exposed to spice.
Yeah.
Also, it's like hallucinogenic for them, so they go on like spirit quests.
Oh, okay.
So, right, watching the original the other night,
Oh, you actually watched the original?
Yeah, watch the original. Fucking mental. So what they've done is they have stopped the film where in this version of Dune that we just saw, they stop it. I can say it now. It's further enough in it.
Yeah. Obviously, they're no spoilers.
Yeah. So
Spoilers.
They hook up with the Fremen at the end, right? This film, like the original film, David Lynch, pretty much all the same, just a bit quicker pace, but weirder, a lot weirder. Too much information coming at you. And then they do what's going to happen in the next film in about half an hour at most.
Really?
They just speed. It's just like they just fast forwarded it, like skip to the end. Like it's insane. Also, so it's a cool fight between Paul and Jessica and the Fremen in the original David Lynch film. Literally, she's like, "Paul, run!" and then grabs Javier Bardem's character, gets him a headlock, and he's like, "You know what? She's alright."
That really is speed running through it.
But we should probably say, obviously, the Atreides, for like the whole, I feel like right from the start they're like, "No, we're a bit fucked."
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
They say
they notice even really. I think Oscar Isaac kind of gives you the look when he's. So they do a quite a nice little touch where he uses a ring sigil as his mark of signing the paper.
Love that version of signing off.
And what
everything should be signed that way.
In the film, he basically puts his finger is the ring onto the wax.
Yeah.
Literally, and does it like so slowly. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he's like thinking, like, shall I just back away? Shall I just take it off?
Yeah.
And then you just see it. He just like rolls it on. You know, like kind of like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You get an impression quite early on in the film, though, even from the way he talks to the son. He says about we're about to go into a lot of danger politically. He knows this isn't. They meant even the bad guys mentioned like you think it's a gift. It's not a gift. It's we find out that it's the Emperor is jealous of him for some reason, which I'm expecting. Did they reveal it, or it's going to be revealed?
He references that the other families look just for leadership. So I think it's just everyone's like fucking love Duke Leto.
Yeah,
and
so
he's fearing that I guess he's fearing rebellion.
Yeah, exactly. Because so he's gonna. So it's like they're swapping him out just so that these guys go kill him, and they give him the means to do so as well. So there's very much you get from the beginning. He's like, this is not a good thing. This is an awful thing. Plus, especially when you go from, I feel like there's an element of it just like, but our thing is air and sea, and you want us to go to the desert? Like, we literally live outside, everything outside that's good about outside, and you want us to go where we have to shut ourselves away 90% of the day? This is awful.
Yeah, it's a bleak old situation, isn't it? Just think of all that space movie that he references.
Like, but you get wealth, so we're pretty rich.
I mean, I would say it's kind of an anti-capitalist story, but at the same time, the was it Vladimir the villain?
Yeah.
I feel like they've given
the Baron.
They've given like a Russian name to be still like bloody commies. Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, then again, maybe that's just he liked the name because he's like just represents like greed. That guy. He's like a massive glutton.
Literally.
Yeah. And in the book, it's very clear that he's a pervert, like for like young like boys, and also and even in the original film, there's a bit where he just like murders this like young lad in front of his nephews, and his nephew's like, "Oh, it's bloody great."
You're bloody great, you.
Was it Stellan Skarsgård playing Vladimir?
Yeah.
And Batista as his nephew, whose name I don't remember.
Big Dave.
Yeah, it's Big Dave. Not enough Big Dave for my liking.
I've said it. I think they're holding. I think the idea is we're gonna see more Big Dave.
Right.
I feel like they're not just giving you too much Big Dave. We had Momoa. They don't want to overwhelm you
with cool dudes.
Just cool, good
with
looking
dudes.
Cool, good. Cool, good,
That's
lovable.
The series the dudes are doing.
Lovable, muscular dudes that are just really nice people in real life as well. Like they didn't want to overwhelm you with that. No, I do feel. I feel like there is more Big Dave to come. Almost, like definitely like.
I feel like the underutilized players in this film are Zendaya, top.
Yeah.
Big Dave, and then Josh Brolin.
Right, yeah.
Josh
Who was very early presence heavy. I mean, obviously that's the story.
Do we know what's happened? We don't know what's happened to him.
I can tell you what's happened.
No.
All right, then. All right.
Were
we supposed to know from this movie?
No.
Then no.
Right, I mean, like Okay.
No, he goes into battle and then I don't think you see him.
you don't
after
see him.
that.
No, you
again.
don't see him.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
good.
I'm saying,
Yeah, fair enough. So they're setting him up for the second. It'll be
Okay, yeah,
interesting.
he's gonna say.
Oh, wait, that's what I mean. Yeah, he's in the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely not
I didn't know
dead.
he was dead. or not.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he might be. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
Okay, you didn't
That's
see
good.
him die.
Yeah, but yeah, very underutilized.
Fun fact: in the original, played by Patrick Stewart.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really
I
liked
mean,
his,
I don't know if I could see Patrick Stewart doing the same
Role now.
type of role.
No.
Yeah. Well, obviously not now, but even when he was in the 80s, what was he probably in his 40s, 50s?
30s, 40s, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, 40s. So
Maybe just because he was balding very early.
Yeah, I mean he's bald in that.
Yeah.
Except for when he's reunited with like Paul, he's like the hair that is left on the back of his head that's white is like they've sort of grown it out a bit. Oh, it's a
dear.
bad look.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Even for the 80s.
I never understood why he had it in Picard.
What the wispy white bit still?
Not in Picard, so but in Next Gen, why he had the. I'd never understood it. Like he looks so much better without it.
Yeah, well, I guess
He's a good-looking man.
You want to cling on to some. If he's clinging on to it, he's clinging on to it.
he
Right?
is. Yeah. I know. Actually, yeah, fair. I know.
I wouldn't know.
People in similar. Well, I've got this full head of hair.
We all do.
We do.
It's actually pretty good.
Some good heads of hair here.
Yeah.
Although mine is receding, but you wouldn't know it unless you're me. Who's, you know what I mean? Like, I know the original shape. And it's not there
Unless you're me
anymore.
and now everyone else who listens.
You-
You're like, cut that out.
Stop. Give me that.
Yeah. So I just feel like those are the three people who were not in it as much as I'd like, but I can see because they're doing another instead of outpacing it. You know, like the David Lynch version. I'm totally fine with it.
The guy we saw briefly. I know he's not a big actor wise, but like still a character we've seen briefly, but obviously we're going to see more of. Is the guy when we keep seeing the premonitions of the future? The guy who's going to teach him the ways.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I don't actually remember what that character is, but
I thought that character was the one that he fights at the end of the film.
I thought so, but don't think it is.
I don't think it is,
I
no.
think it's
Yeah,
the guy who
I
was
thought it
sitting
was
off to the
Gardner.
side. Oh,
The what? Sorry.
although
Maybe.
I might be.
it was
way
hard
off
to the
there.
guy.
Yeah, but he had his face covered.
Yeah, we don't know
Yeah.
what he looked like.
There was there's a scene where there's these palm trees.
Yeah.
In their like garden, their equivalent of a garden, and he's like, these trees, they take up like the equivalent of what
Five
men will drink, and there's 20 trees, and Paul's like, we should get rid of these trees, save on the water, and he's like, oh no, they're symbolic or something sacred.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, Paul's right.
I liked Paul. I liked it. Sort of like I liked the way they were establishing Paul. Like he's like, okay, then surely this water should go to the people. You're like, you're going to be a good leader, man. I'm behind you already. You're brooding, but you're not. I don't know what it is, but
To be fair,
I like you.
You know, brooding characters can often be a bit annoying. There's plenty to brood about in this planet.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, even when it's very much like I reckon this was probably a influence on Game of Thrones, with like the warring families and that.
yeah,
Not like I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that influenced
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
I reckon this is amongst it. You know how like even when you're in power, but everyone's out to kill you, so you're kind of miserable. Like that was definitely the vibe here.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
yeah. He was like, and he's being. By the sounds of it, he's going. I can't imagine his training with his mum being nice.
No,
It's got to be like an element of that kind of like it's gonna.
I want to get it out. I want to get it over and done with. The weird bit where they get changed, and they both give each other like a
It's just
longing
so-
look.
I don't understand why they did it that way.
Yeah, so they're getting changed in the desert, and just she gives him a look when his shirt's off, but he's like facing away from her as if to be like, "Ooh, my son,
Creepy.
my
It
son's
kind of
bum's
came
gonna be
across.
out."
It
Beyond
kind of came
creepy.
across that way. Yeah, it was like
What
obviously
a
that's what we
a
didn't
terrible
mean it.
time just before the end of the film
Yeah.
to slip in a will they won't they
Yeah.
incest act.
I don't think it was. I think it just
No,
came
no.
across that way.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
It
so. But
can't
then again,
have
I've been
been.
in denial about that in the past. Like Blade, yeah, the original Blade.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was just so weirded out with that bit where the mum is like rubbing her nose on him,
Oh,
and being all
yeah,
seductive
yeah.
and being like, she's just being weird. Like
Yeah,
I couldn't
yeah.
acknowledge it was incest, so now I think I'm a bit too quick to be like incest.
Game of Thrones has ruined it for
Why are you
everyone.
in the room together?
That guy's making eye contact with his mum. What a freak!
Yeah, so I feel like it was just a misinterpretation of that scene, but the fact all three of us picked up on it was
Yeah, but then I mean, we've looked online. Like, there's loads of people who
Yeah.
are picking up.
Oh,
that
is it?
vibe,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah, I
it's
think it
always
was
good
just-
when you're
We
not-
did a little. I did a little Twitter scroll Just did a little
Dune
hashtag. No, I just put a little hashtag Dune and just went through some comments.
Yeah.
Hashtag Dunecest.
Dunecest, Jesus.
But I was just me and you turned to each other just like, oh, this is just got weird.
It was a weird
with
moment.
all the characters that have got these different names, like some of them not unpronounceable at times. Yeah, this is the bit where we turn to each other and we're like, oh god, it's getting a bit too weird.
So odd,
You can tell it's good because at no point was I like, oh, turn to Liam and give, except for that.
Yeah.
And then just right at the end, where Paul is challenged like a fight to the death, and Zendaya, who's been like dreaming about all film, is like, listen, you're alright, so have this sword. Like that guy's gonna kill you, but I want you to have this sword because honorable death and that. But don't worry, because he's gonna kill you quick. So it's fine. Obviously that was like just their culture and stuff. It's pretty fun, but like I did find it very funny. Just the idea of like just someone be like, yeah, cheers. I mean, you're dead, but like obviously, yeah, all right.
I'm not feeling great, but cheers.
Look, I heard you the first time.
Don't worry, you'll die quick. It's like, okay, cool.
I was looking forward to meeting you, but now I'm like, ugh.
I've been dreaming about you all this time, and this is what you're like. God, like,
that should just be her character.
Time to switch that off.
That should just be her character all for the next one. Like, I mean, this will probably kill you, but
I still don't believe you're that thing. You're not the one, but hey.
One of the funny bits as well. I know we skipped to the end pretty much, but
we'll double back.
Yeah, we'll double back.
I feel like this film is you need to.
Yeah.
I mean,
we ping pong all over the place
because he's sort of in and out through time.
Oh,
nice. Isn't he? The visions.
Yeah.
It's one of the few films I'm seeing where someone watches a trailer for the next film.
Well, I thought to be honest, I generally thought it actually ended up being the case with that war and stuff that's being shown in the trailer and stuff, not even in this movie.
No.
I thought there was going to be more.
In a vision. I mean, I could
thought
see
there was
that
going to be
coming,
more.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest, because as we got to about an hour into the film, I was like, at no point is there going to like really, because now they're on their own.
Yeah.
Are they going to be leading an army? So I was just like, it's probably a vision. It's probably going to be in the sequel. They put part one up on the title sequence.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
I didn't even think we were getting Zendaya in this film at one point.
Yeah, I thought that.
Right,
I thought it would literally be like she'd be in the last scene.
I swear they covered.
She's been in all of the Vanity Fair shoots, so I'm just like, holy shit, is she getting a good payday?
I feel like they covered all of the bits I'd seen of her in the visions before we actually saw her in person.
Right.
So I didn't actually think we were going to see her at all.
Speaking of Zendaya, the bit where she is up on the ledge when Paul has a gun.
Yep.
Which I find I'm going to get back to the subject of guns in this film.
Cool.
But like he's got like a gun and he's aiming it at like the troop who are they're fighting off. And he's literally just there, and when the fight is kind of broken up, the first time she speaks, she's just like, I wouldn't have let you hurt any of my friends. I would have just turned. I'd be like, go, I'm gonna shoot you now. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't act so hard. Like, you've just come into this fight. Like, I could have sniped any of them. Yeah, sure, you would have come at me, but
it just seems like.
And now you've said that, I want to shoot you.
It just seems like to say that. Like, surely if you were that on it, you'd have like disarmed it.
Yeah.
It's all
you were just crouching tiger, hidden dragon in the corner. Like, don't.
It's very much like
give
at
me that.
school when like someone's being a dick to someone, and then the teacher stops it, and the kid who was like someone was being a dick to goes, "Oh, it's a good thing you turned up because I was going to batter him."
Yeah, I was going to beat him up anyway.
And I mean,
oh yeah, sure you were.
And I mean, I've been that kid, to be fair, I reckon. But it's just a bit cringe. But she was pretty cool, and I like the way she's just negging him at the end there.
Yeah.
Also, right. So some reviews I've read. Well, no, this is a bit of a lie. I read that the general consensus with reviews was that it ended suddenly, whereas I felt it was a very natural endpoint if you don't divide it, because it's like them.
I feel like that might have been just said because there was no big finale.
Right.
There was no big like battle like we were shown in the trailer.
Yeah.
I feel like people, if you've been shown that in the trailer, you might feel a bit cheated.
Okay. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it does end naturally. I do agree.
I can see why they did the trailer the way they did though. Because I feel like I would do it if I made a film like this now, and I wanted people to see it.
Yeah.
And and obviously when you make a film, you want everyone to see it. You want as many people to see it as possible. I'd trick them a bit with the trailer because I'd be like, These people need to see this
Wouldn't be
because
the
the way
first time
that
the trailers, like,
yeah, but I think you should. I almost 100% agree with it because if they'd advertised this film for what it was, a lot of people probably wouldn't have just gone and seen it.
which is, to be fair, it's like I would say it's like intense kind of somber drama.
Yes, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a
But in
film,
space,
not a
yeah.
movie. It's the first blockbuster. You said the first blockbuster we've seen in a while where it just had that serious tone, and there was no like comical like moment. There was some quip-ish, the
Yeah.
muscle bit and like that. So, but it was very serious. It's a story being told about that. They'd advertise that people would just be like, "Oh, it's too long." It's the people that call Lord of the Rings too long. Those they wouldn't have gone and seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I completely agree with the way they advertised it, and
I
I'm
also-
I'm so glad it wasn't what they advertised. To be honest, like
Yeah.
I wasn't 100%. This film I've been like, because the intrigue, I wanted to see it, but there's no part of me like, oh, I really need to see Dune.
Right.
But had I known it was this, I'd have been so excited about it. I've come out of it so positive. I think we may have been. I really don't want to speak too soon, but I really don't want to say it. This may be the closest we've had in a while to a satisfying big. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or what. So like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars,
So
that sort of thing, where I've got this new story that I don't know anything about.
Right.
Because you think if you watch the first Star Wars, they don't really explain Jedi or anything like that. It's only later on.
Exactly.
So I like this whole. I don't know everything, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it does feel like this is this new epic. And it's the last
Right.
what we've had in a while. It's the most recent version we've had of an epic in a while.
Yeah, it's very, very much fitting of that term.
And I've walked out of it like I'm excited. I can see this becoming one of my all-time movies, hopefully. And like
Right.
the fact, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But it very much like wasn't as much as a blockbuster. It didn't feel too Hollywood or recent
not
Hollywood
at
or
all.
anything. It very much felt Lord of the Rings, kind of that kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
Like
why I was worried about Momoa is because I just associate him with like the DC films, which I know have like been all over the place in terms of quality, but I just kind of thought they were bringing in someone who I know as someone who is going to be a bit like. Yeah, they do it in Marvel and they do it well, but there's always those sort of characters and performances where it's sort of like, I mean, this is a film, it's fine, don't worry. Do you know what I mean? There's always that sort of coming out of it.
yeah.
But he was completely immersed in it. It's just, so
Yeah.
I was a bit worried when I saw they put some muscle on. It just seemed like very much like, oh, this guy, he is like a little twink, isn't he, eh? But
They're like,
it was-
oh, see, real world relatable, even though it's the year 10, like what is 10,000 and
yeah, I think so. I remember it being
158
like, that's
or
a lot
something.
of numbers.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the one. I feel it's a good call because we'll all be dead by then. And
speak for yourself.
you're investing in
Liam is eternal.
I'm living forever, baby.
You heard it here first.
lobster DNA, putting it in yourself. To
Lobster DNA.
Liam is eternal,
Yeah.
You've always been here.
like a shark. He never evolved.
Inevitable.
It's why his beard is so glorious. It's
There's
that of the old times.
There's was it like cave there's cave paintings of Liam podcasting.
And it's
Nice,
literally,
yeah.
it's the cave painting is literally the image, the beard and the hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the beard and the quiff.
Yeah, so it's like a normal, like a human stick figure.
Yeah.
But then it's like got like quite a graphically accurate face,
And then
like
there were-
with beard and hair.
There literally are some where it's like it's just the brick, the stone with a beard and a hair that joins. Then that's the only image on it, and it's like,
And other stick figures offering him stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
In,
And then,
yeah.
and then like next to it, because it will be like done by hand, and then next to it says like and subscribe to Reels Podcast.
What does it mean? But so the character of the traitor, the doctor,
The Doctor, yeah.
Which I think is, I feel like his. I was
Underdeveloped.
skimming, very underdeveloped.
for this film. He's in in the book. They really go into a lot. So in the book, right, it's quite tense at the start, and you have this feeling of like, well, they replicate it pretty well just through the sort of tone, but like you are kind of like, oh, like you sense impending doom.
Yeah, well, yeah, they absolutely in it. Yeah.
But like because in the book, they take like an excerpt of a history book written by one of the Emperor's daughters, who isn't in this film, and it's just like a little quote from that book at the start of every chapter, and it's sort of like, they settled on Arrakis, and obviously it's terrible because what happened next was really, really bad.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing that.
Yeah, I get it.
It's written much better than that.
Yeah, I get it. That's quite a nice little touch. I like that.
Yeah, it was all right. And then also, it's told from different characters' perspectives. So there's a lot of that guy's like guilt beforehand, and also you just get a better sense that he's like really important to the family. Whereas in this, he's just like close to the family.
I mean, he's only in two real
I know,
seasons.
but
Exactly,
I feel like I got a good feel of what he was to the family, though.
Yeah.
The fact that she said, "Tell no one else," and he's allowed to know that information.
They speak in,
he speaks to
in
like he
language.
warns him in that way.
Oh, yeah, and he knows the sign language. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I just because I've seen like, and also the other version, which isn't as this is a mess of a film. I would say it's one of the few things they do a bit better. Really,
okay.
I just felt because basically what happens is you know the scene with Josh Brolin as Gurney training him in the fight. That's like very similar, but like he walks in, it's like him, the Mentat, they're like human computer people. They're in the film, but they don't explain what they are.
Yeah.
And the Doctor, they all sort of come in and like, oh, we're all your teachers, you.
Okay.
And then stuff. But basically, that's one thing I would say is that I would have, just knowing the material a bit, I would have liked that sense of him being so sort of like depressed about his decision. It's kind of like funny when he's explaining to Leto that he's betrayed him. Just the way he goes, "Oh, I'll get this ring to Paul if you kill someone for me," and like because he's paralyzed Leto, with the like poison dart or whatever. And just imagine just being in that position where this guy who's just like betrayed you and is like fucked over your whole family. And he's like, you got to kill someone for me, right? He's like, motherfucker.
You killed me.
That's not how this works.
Yeah. Have you killed anyone before? The character's name is Dr. Wellington Ewer. Which,
Wellington.
I mean,
Welly, you old bastard.
There's only two types of name in this film. It's either space word or it's
John.
Yeah, or it's names that don't really fit into the universe.
Like,
but maybe it tracks
Dr. Wellington.
Maybe it tracks with your theory that this literally all of now history exists. I was under the impression it was a different thing, but maybe it is this universe in the year whatever and ever.
It is.
Well, if someone's name is Paul, then obviously,
I mean,
they do pull that shit in.
Paul's almost like a. You can imagine Paul becoming a name in any. It's a very vocal. It's one syllable.
Yeah.
The guy's surname is Idaho. However,
so if Idaho is this,
yeah, that's like
unless I'm mistaken, like, I think what happens is the idea is it is the future, but like so far in the future, like
Yeah.
We've been space cowboys
8,000 years.
Space cowboys are space witches.
8,000 years, like it's like that's longer than already technically history at the moment, sort of thing.
Yeah. So guns, right? Do you think you were going to say about guns?
Yeah.
So I think the idea is once sort of space became a thing, like bullets, they were like, bad for going through ships.
Good point.
And then also, I remember a friend of mine explained about. I mean, I might have read it, but don't remember about lasers not being that common. Because they're like two. Like, I think it's the idea is if two lasers hit, then it causes like a huge explosion.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
And so people were like, just go back to swords. Cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
It is cooler.
Especially
it's absolutely
for
cooler.
movies.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
I like the shielding thing.
Yeah.
I love all that, and the thing with the red and blue.
Yeah,
and
the shielding,
the old
and
shimmer
you can
shield.
go through slowly. It's obviously an impact. Well, there's like an element of like. Oh, it's not just a shield. It's like it's a kinetic. It has to be a quick kinetic hit for it to register it. Because if you go through slowly and it doesn't register it, you can get through, and that's how you kill people.
Yeah.
It's like
I feel like the action, the sword fighting, is especially in the scene where Jason Momoa dies.
Yeah.
The hits, they're like, I don't know really how to describe it. They're just very purposeful because you've got to be at a certain speed to get through.
Yeah.
So it's like you are trying to be quick, but then you've got to
kill them slow.
You've got to go for it.
It was good. It was
and
so
then
good.
there's a lot of throat slitting as well in this film.
There's a lot of throat slitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
But that's to be the first thing you go for. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was quite shocked when Vladimir, big old fat guy, Stellan Skarsgård in the fat suit, he went to I thought just slitting the Doctor's throat, cut his head off.
Yeah.
That was that blade looked far too small to be doing
I know.
that much head cutting.
No.
But I'll forgive it.
Yeah. Because it was kind of cool.
It was
Yeah,
cool.
it was
I
cool.
thought
It was kind of good.
Because I felt bad. That Doctor is just very much kind of like, he's a traitor. He's not even happy about it.
No. And also they did
And he
the
did.
classic switcheroo where it's like, the Baron, he basically goes, actually, I said I'd set her free and you can join her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why don't people choose their words?
I know, right?
Or why don't they? Why isn't the Doctor listening? He's a man of science. He's got a medical doctorate. Yet when someone says, "I'll set her free and you can join her," in a sinister tone, because there's no
Everything,
way.
everything that guy said was in a sinister
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah. So there's
It was
absolutely
literally
yeah.
I would go, I need you to do this. I'd be like, okay, and so I'll set her free and you can join. I would go, don't kill her.
No, right. What I want you to
Or
say,
me.
I want you to
Or
say
me.
out loud
Yeah.
is that you'll let her go
Alive.
home
Yeah.
alive
Safely
with me,
not dead.
Not dead.
Or
None of
maimed.
us-
And you just sure imagine him just sort of like, okay.
And then but then he finds a way, and then the Doctor's still just like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll kill him. Yeah, I'll kill him. Well, this guy really like him. Yeah, I'll kill him.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. You forget about him. Right, in the original and the book, like they established that his wife was like killed by Harkonnens, and it's so awkward in the film. He's because she like can read people. They were sort of taught how to read body language in a like bizarrely good way, and he's like doing something, and she's like, "Oh, you miss someone, your wife. They were killed by Harkonnens," and he's like, "Oh, obviously a bit awkward." And she's like, "Oh, sorry, you don't want to talk about it." It's like, well, yeah, of course he's not going to fucking talk about it. Can you imagine?
I don't think there's any good time to bring that up, is there?
So, the most horrific thing ever happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You sure you don't want to talk about it like quite a bit?
yeah, just like now about
Yeah.
your yeah.
Yeah, do you want to get it out? Come
Yeah,
on.
just while you're working for me.
Safe
and my
space.
husband.
I mean, everyone's here, so everyone will know. But
And I mean, I obviously I'm very loyal to my husband and also the Space Witch Council.
what was who was the best in terms of acting?
Oh, that is a hard one. But this was so. We were saying no one missed their mark.
Yeah, everyone was really good. I'm gonna go with I'm torn between Oscar Isaacs. Always really good. I mean, Oscar
He's
Isaacs.
just so good.
The things with Oscar Isaacs is I've seen him in like quite a few crap films, but I always thought, nah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I couldn't help get a little bit of a when he was like, I wanted to be a pilot. I was like,
Oh yeah, because obviously he's the
Ho. And that's why I thought it was
Almost
weird.
forgot. Genuinely, like, and
Yeah,
I was just like, oh,
that's
yeah.
just left my mind.
But again,
so,
it's a good example of what you just said. Like, not a great film, but he was brilliant.
yeah, really good.
Yeah.
So he was excellent. Really sort of fell for him. Also, Javier Bardem was great. Not in a lot, but just really cool and like
Well,
captivating.
they say the mark of a good actor is it's not about how much you're on the screen; it's what you do when you're in front of it.
Yeah.
But,
Genuinely, I could not hold back on saying it when he was like, "I've got to go." When Javier Bardem was like, "I'm needed elsewhere,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yeah, M needs him back in Hong Kong." From fucking Skyfall, it's just like I couldn't help myself. As soon as he said I've got to go, I was just like, "That's right, Silver. Off for another mission for M." I was just
Friendo.
like, "Yeah."
I always like at the end of Skyfall when his whole thing is like, I'm gonna kill M, and then he sees how like he's wounded. He's like, they hurt you,
Mummy. Yeah, I know, it's a bit weird. Yeah, so yeah, Sam, who are you going for?
So I'm also torn. One of them, Oscar Isaacs, and the boy. I thought the boy done the boy because I don't know his name in real life.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Him,
Right. Okay.
Timmy. Good old Timmy.
Tim Night
him.
Shyamalan.
Tim Night Shyamalan.
I would say
Tim.
him. I'm going to say him though. I'm going to say him because it's hard. It's hard to do, especially now, to do a chosen one, be a younger chosen that thing,
and not to hear the eyes rolling in the audience.
It's just and to be he was also to do the brooding, but do it successfully, and like. Yeah, I think he had the harder job, so I'm gonna give it to him. I thought he was. I really like him as a hero. I'm behind him, and like I said, there's certain bits where I didn't even necessarily know what was going on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, they do this bit, and it's that bit with the hand. Like, yeah, there was a few moments, and I'm like,
Oh, actually,
yeah.
I feel like Rebecca Ferguson deserves a shout out.
Oh yeah, I mean we were saying that.
Yeah, we would say we're
we've
saying
been
who our
she's in it.
best.
Yeah.
So.
We're saying who was our best.
Yeah, no,
but
no,
yes,
I
she
just-
was.
'cause I
Yeah,
I feel
With-
I should have
with
mentioned her
honourable
as well.
mention-
I was just
for
as I was
Rebecca
talking,
Ferguson.
even as I was
And the rest of the cast.
as I was talking then. No, but that's why it's such a hard thing. Everyone was fucking
Yeah.
fantastic in
Yeah.
this. That's why it feels like an epic as well. No one's slacking. Every single role is just like they're in it for how long or how short. They're just good and doing what they do, and I feel like I'm in the story, and there's this story playing out, and it feels new. I know it's an old story, but it feels like finally I'm not watching a movie that I have a context about or anything.
Yeah.
Like that. It just feels very new. I want to read the book now. 100% what makes me want to read the book. I'm interested in this universe in general, but yeah, I was just literally just thinking. Oh, actually, my third option would be the mum was absolutely brilliant, Jessica. So good, but yeah, I'm gonna go
there
Paul.
was a bit of internal conflict with her
Yeah.
between being a mother and also being a massive space witch.
Well,
and a wife.
I would say, or not a wife, concubine.
I've literally had a conversation about that, and I'm like, oh yeah, and a husband. No.
But
her lord and paramour.
it was a wife. It was a wife.
He
But
just doesn't really late when he's just not really late. but
partner
when he goes like-
as a partner.
when he just goes, yeah, I love her. A life partner. When he's like, oh, I should have married you, really.
Yeah, I love that.
Which just
bit.
reminded me of Alan Partridge's, like when he's with his like Russian girlfriend. He's like, oh, I love you in a way.
But I was it's what you were just saying. The note. I feel like it ended on that note. That final shot of her. There's more of her to come,
Yeah.
and
And,
she's not going to necessarily make his life easy.
No, yeah.
It ends with Zendaya's line, "This is only the beginning," which I felt was such a cheeky line.
That's that was a Hollywood line if I've ever heard it.
Yeah.
To have that be the last line of a movie.
Do you think they just sort of they had to argue it down from a producer who was like, just it should end with Zendaya turning to the camera and saying,
And they were
continue.
and they were just like, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, like just to shut the guy up. And then he's just like, and then you can have the title for the next movie come up, Dune, The Last Jedi. And they're just literally just like they're just getting the syringe to put him down, you know where they like flicking it like, yeah, that's right, yeah,
They just have
yep, that's right, yeah, we'll put the title card at the end, yeah, that's right, go to sleep now. Shh.
One thing one of the things I did really like, actually, I want to touch on is and as much as it's one of my most feared creatures, as you know, the Kraken, I love this idea in a thing where there is this monster or this creature.
Yes, you're right. However long we've been recording, we have not mentioned space worms.
Yeah,
That's mad.
and it's Dune.
Yeah.
I love that kind of monster. It's just you don't beat it.
Yeah.
You don't beat that monster. You just avoid it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
your only option, is to avoid it. You don't ever win.
No.
You can never win against this thing. And this is a planet full of them. So even if they manage to kill one, it's not like it's over now.
Yeah.
It's like no, I just
It'll
love.
never be
There's
over.
like, but they're kind of almost. It sounds like they've kind of got like a god aspect to them. Like they're worshipped to an extent by them or something. Like
I didn't
celebrated.
I didn't really get that vibe. But
I think she called it something. The tooth from that, and it sounded like it had
they
a
said
name.
There's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Was there like one that basically like made the world?
Oh,
Oh,
No,
yeah,
it's the ceremonial dagger that features a lot.
it's from a
Yeah.
tooth of a, and
Yeah, they
she
say
called
the
it
great
something. She called
the
it something.
great worm, yeah.
But
I think he'd spent great as in like his great bloody worm. That one, he'd help you out.
but I love. And to be honest,
It'll help you move.
yeah,
it's
Bloody
the,
great though.
it's the first.
I don't mind. Honestly, I'm massive. I can just carry it on my back.
It's the first time in a while as well I've seen the creature, and it's not ruined it.
Yeah, very much so.
That they delivered. That would have been hard, like literally
It was, like, all
seeing a
inspiring.
shot of it.
Yeah.
But we've not really, because we've only seen a fraction of it anyway. But
Well, the mouth is
it's seen the main part. Everything's
Yeah.
going to look like a
You
worm.
see how like ridiculously like
Just
large
large,
it is.
rigid,
Large
and you
it
just you don't beat them. They are just something you have to deal with and live with, and that's it. And I even the riding at the end, I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's not them suddenly like, oh, this big creature, fuck it, we just ride them. It's like, no, I can see how you would ride them. Yeah,
Also, it seems so big that it probably doesn't notice that you're hitching a ride.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's one thing that really makes me nervous about the next one is the vision that he has of his mum pregnant and says you're pregnant. And she's like, how do you know that? I barely know that. Good line. That baby is tricky.
Oh no.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Oh no spoilers for future films we haven't even seen yet.
Okay.
But
like,
yeah,
Jesus,
oh god,
man.
no.
Like, come on, especially like, I finally got the studios I've invested in. Don't ruin it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Bollocks.
Oh, it's gonna be. Let's not get into the topic. Because,
Okay.
But going back
Time
to the
drop?
worm,
No,
I was
so-
just like, we went to see it in IMAX, and
Mm.
I'm just like, oh, I mean, you can't really see it any other way
No.
because
No.
honestly, I feel like it would be a little bit, maybe a little bit underwhelming
Possibly.
if you've seen the trailer and then you see the worm, but it's just on a normal screen.
Yeah, the IMAX sound.
The
like,
sound
massively
is
benefited.
it was so important in this film.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean,
it's the
Sound.
only way to watch
That's a good way of
cinema
it.
now.
Not just the music. Sound was so important in this film.
Yeah, hugely.
And it was done so well. Like, I know we're saying about the voice and the villa, but just the dialogue scenes seemed to just be recorded in like a perfect pitch for whatever they needed to be. And like it was just something. I love the use of the sign language, so that was really cool. But
yeah, it's like really specific.
I like that. Yeah, but it was just. I honestly, I just feel like we're at the beginning of the next epic.
You know,
I do feel like it.
it's only the beginning.
Sure.
Hashtag Zendaya.
Uh,
But I want more Big Dave, and at times I felt it could have benefited, like in the scene where, well, just like another villain who is like a featured character rather than just guys in masks. I
yeah.
felt it could have been. You know, maybe it would have made it a bit sort of fun and campy, which they weren't going for. But I could have done with it in like the scenes where like Duncan Idaho dies and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought the action scenes were really good,
Oh, brilliantly done.
Yeah.
especially when
orchestrated.
the base is getting destroyed.
Yeah,
Some of it from outside the atmosphere. They're just fucking bombarding the shit out of it.
yeah, very much.
And in that situation, I'd just be fucking running.
Yeah.
Because, I'd be getting...
But they're running at the enemy. I'd be like running for.
Yeah.
Anything.
Where can you run to on
Oh
the
yeah,
planet,
but
though?
it's their job.
I'm just so
Space is quite frightening.
I'm so quick to just be like, nope, it's over and kill myself in these situations. I'm
And
just
that
so
is why you are not a soldier.
You're just,
There's a
you're just
mentality
like-
that comes with
you're
it,
just
Joe.
performing seppuku, like you're
Yeah,
just
I'm
like
just-
absolutely gone.
I think as soon as I had a job which involved a sword, I just within minutes, I'd be like, oh, he's gone. Like,
You'd just be
I
like-
can't live with dishonor.
you just finished your passing out, like you're not even at war. You're just you get given a ceremonial, a
Blade.
ceremonial weapon, and you're just like, this is it, isn't it? And you just disembowel yourself.
Yeah, they're like, that was a blunt sword. How did you possibly manage it?
I was
a
gonna say,
nightstick.
first spar training. You know, so like they put you like, Joe, it's your turn, and you're trying to stab yourself with the blunt, like with the wooden weapon. What are you doing?
We gave him his diploma, and he just started thrusting it into his chest. I think he's trying to kill himself.
He's trying to give him paper cut himself on the throat.
I don't think I could trust that guy in a military situation.
Oh,
so
no.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they're soldiers, so they wouldn't be running. They'd
Yeah.
be running to.
yeah,
the
so
battle.
the
It's
action
literally
was
their
great, and the special effects were really good as well.
Yeah. Like,
At no point was I just like special
CGI.
effects.
Yeah, no point was like that.
Was
It was visually so impressive that you just forgot that you were watching
that
Yeah.
what the
a lot of
the
green
vision,
screen.
Yeah,
the
massive.
vision of the war scene. I mean, tell me otherwise. But was that just a load of people running at each other,
Yeah.
or did they use that program that they love? But like it
great.
didn't look like a program. It looked like a bunch of people like running at each other and fighting.
Yeah, well, look, here's the thing: it blurred the lines between practical and CGI.
Yeah.
Some shots
well.
not so much. Like so say when in the vision where Paul is like wearing that suit of armor and it like reveals his face. I thought that was probably the only one where I was like, oh, that's quite like
Yes.
CGI.
Yeah.
It's because you've got a lot going on, because you got the suit that like peels away. You've got him, he's like on spice now.
Yeah.
This is in his vision.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
CGI, digitally enhanced wise. But other than that, the rest of it, I was just like, this all looks like really good.
Yeah. I do
Really
wonder
good.
what was practical as well, just because I think a fair few of the ships would have been, just because I know that a lot of the cars in Blade Runner were practical.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm
nice.
thinking I'm pretty sure from again the bug kind of like things are just CGI helicopters, right? Like they were helicopters, and then they've added because the way they moved and even the shape of them looked like a helicopter without the propeller on top.
Nah, I think they'd be CGI. It's
Yeah,
very
okay.
expensive to make those.
They looked
No, they
too-
wouldn't. No, wouldn't make it. They were
No,
just.
they weren't.
Just,
Well, they didn't look like anything like helicopters.
they literally had the shape of a helicopter without
Do
the
you know what I mean?
propeller and the
they weren't,
feet.
They weren't helicopters. They were very clearly like designed spaceships.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The way they moved was a lot like helicopters.
I'm sure they just based the movement.
Yeah.
On helicopters. But that was cool. Like the propeller, like sort of, they were like fly wings, weren't they? Like,
Fly
Yeah.
wings. Yeah.
I
did
thought
like that
I
design.
thought it was a little bit like impractical, but I'm not gonna nitpick too much on that because let's just not. It's fucking 10,000 years later.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be
And
like,
it's
cool.
sci-fi.
They got.
It's sci-fi. Why not?
I was just a little bit like, I'm pretty sure you designed something that's got less flaws than that, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean,
I'm digging it.
At the end of the day, there were insects that fly because of that. So there was there it's not too hard to believe that in the future they work out the perfect balance and weight and stuff that
Maybe.
they make something of of a proportional size do what a bug already does.
Again,
Also,
honestly, they got interstellar travel. I was like, I was
Yeah.
nitpicking just because I was like, that just
There's nothing
it's
else
just
to.
impractical design.
Also, well, quite a fun thing in the film, which like wasn't the emphasis. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll take these little nuggets of like fun,
Yeah,
anywhere they come in any form, because honestly, like it's a serious
It's a serious
movie.
film. Yeah, it's a
Very.
serious movie.
It's a downbeat kind of slightly depressing in bits where you're like, what is going to happen now?
yeah. Like there's a lot of this.
I wouldn't say, as I say again, I wouldn't say depressing, but this impending doom.
Yeah,
Like, there's
okay,
that
yeah.
feel.
Foreboding.
Yeah. Foreboding.
But
Yeah.
like, there isn't a scene where, it's not like. I feel like every other version of this involves Paul, like a shot where he runs through like a load of explosions and the camera follows him for ages, and it's like, oh, look at this, like this is cool. This was him and his mum, like they escape, take control of that ship, and then just sort of hide and cry. In a tent for quite a while.
Which is realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As a bit of a breakdown once he.
And then they're like, we're not going to stay here. We're going to fucking move.
He just realised his dad. They both just realised that the dad's dead.
Yeah.
Like there's a moment of that, and I like because at first when it first happened, I was kind of like, is he not gonna cry? But it literally was like they built to it sort of thing.
It's like the I mean it's from the books, but the whole your man Dr. Wellington gives him the Duke a tooth to bite down on and release a poison gas that will kill the enemy, and the only one he doesn't kill is the fat floating
genuinely.
man.
The one he was supposed to kill.
Yeah. Although the guy
Didn't live up to his part of the bargain.
No, that's why Duke Lowe's.
But the bargain was with the man who'd just paralysed him.
Yep.
And I was only saving
One
his
of the most
family.
honest exchanges. You're just like, I need you to kill a man, and you're like, you're in the middle of killing me. get one done first. Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna get this ring to your son if he survives.
Yes, right.
If he survives this treacherous attempt.
Yeah.
That I've
Orchestrated.
yeah.
Or helped participate in.
It's all me.
That's the point. I never thought of it that way. Literally, like he's like, yeah, I'll get this ring to your son, and I'll make sure. I'll basically,
he does
I'll
it
make,
anyway.
I'll
He
make
literally
sure
just like,
there
I'm
is.
gonna do it anyway.
There is to make sure there's a rucksack with everything he needs in it. As long as he gets out of this horrific situation that he's probably not going to get out of,
Yeah.
but he manages to get out.
So what it is right.
The doctor puts nothing in place to help Paul.
No, he does. But only because Jessica is so awesome that he knows she's so awesome because of the training. He's got like a little diamond on his head
Yeah,
because I think he's a mentat.
I did see
as
this.
well,
I was
or
wondering
had
what
mentat
that.
training.
Yeah,
And then or something else. One of the many organisations in the book where I was like, I can't keep track of all of this. And then that diamond is also on the ship.
yeah,
And
I
she's
saw
like,
that. Yeah,
that's the noises she makes.
Yeah, I know.
Huh? Although what really annoyed me was he's put this.
so she's gagged. So it's. Oh.
That was one of the best scenes I thought.
That was a very good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And when she's like lecturing him on not getting the voice right.
yeah. I love that afterwards. Yeah.
There's a bit where at the end when he has that fight to the death, and he tries to make the guy yield. She goes, "Oh, Paul's never killed a man before," and I was like, "Well, he has helped."
Yeah. And I expected him because Timothy Swiss Chalet he had a guy in a headlock and I expected him to just turn around and be like, but mom
You're embarrassing me in front of my Fremen friends.
Embarrassing me in front of my girlfriend.
That doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm
That's
having
sorry.
premonitions.
I feel like there was a bit of that. I might have just completely misread it.
God.
But that bit at the end where, like, I think she says something to him, like, "This is just the beginning," and walks off, and he smirks. Because he's pretty much had a premonition of them kissing. It's like I did kind of get "Oh yeah, it is."
Oh yeah, it is.
You don't even know yet.
Okay, so you know how he had a vision of that guy killing him,
Yeah.
like, just before the fight, which doesn't really count as a vision. It's more just worrying.
Yeah.
No, it was the exact. Yeah.
But,
It was
like,
the
That's
exact
just
way.
called using your imagination.
It was the exact way how he was going to kill him. Like,
Yeah, but like, and then it turned out it was like role reversal, and it like symbolized like the old him dying because like when you because like basically everything he does because he the way he stabs him and then holds his hand. The guy does that to him in the vision.
Yeah.
And he does it to the guy. I think I've explained that pretty well.
very well. But
Not using
the
anyone's name.
visions,
Just no pronouns.
Paul and the guy,
And the challenger.
the challenger.
He kills the challenger, but had a vision where the challenger killed him in the same way.
Yeah.
And maybe like he's not kissing Zendaya. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe, yeah.
The movie.
Well,
kissing his mum.
Oh no.
It's open interpretation.
Doomsday.
Maybe he's stabbing her.
Hashtag cancel Dune.
But yeah, like it's this element now that maybe the visions are open for interpretation.
Yeah.
Like they're
Because
they're
one of the visions is she kills him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's
So-
saying.
I guess like she's like killing the old him through her love. Because isn't that what love is?
No, they're not
We
going to
have
do.
to wait for the
They're not
second
going to do.
one.
They're not going to do every time he sees himself die in a
Yeah.
vision. It's killing the old him.
Yeah.
Like there's not like 8 him.
How many fucking different versions
Like
of him are
yeah,
there?
exactly.
One, he's got a mustache, one an eye patch.
It's like Rick and Morty. They just like slightly changed. There's fucking eye patch. Timothy Chalamet.
Ponytail Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet in a little sailor's hat.
Nice. Timothy Chalamet, but he's actually Johnny Depp.
Oh gosh.
Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet. He's Zendaya.
Yeah.
But-
Role reversal.
The next one is a body
Zendaya
swap
Chalamet.
The body swap.
Zendaya, mate.
Body swap. The middle film of the trilogy is a body swap comedy.
That's what we
where Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya have a body swap, and
Literal's changed.
it turns out that Zendaya is having feelings for the mum, but in the body, and it just gets even weirder than it is already like hinted at becoming.
You know the line. The line's already like, you don't know how hard it is being me.
Oh yeah, basically that is like the
The
Yes,
iconic.
that is the,
that's like
The
the
iconic-
trailer
the
line.
icon-
You know, that's only put in the movie for the trailer. It's
Yeah.
like
and
it's
then-
like hands off my body, and it's just like you don't know how hard it is being me. It's like I do now. Yeah,
I feel like the trailer music for that is either "You're Unbelievable," oh no, or "Everybody Dance Now."
like every body swap comedy from like the 90s onwards.
I feel like whenever I imagine a film like that, there's always like "Dude Looks Like a Lady" by Aerosmith playing.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's just because.
Oh my god, yeah, that would totally be the trailer.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Because even Chalamet kind of looks like a really beautiful woman.
Look, mate, there's definitely going to be a shot where they, towards the end of the movie, they come to terms with being one another. You think they're going to change back, but not before a dance number to Dude Looks Like a Lady
Absolutely.
or Everybody Dance Now, where even the worm gets involved.
Yes.
And they're doing like
They're
a
trying
side-by-side dance-off.
With the worm like in the background.
The worm's just bobbing like every.
Either
off
that or the
screen.
worm's DJing, and it's
Yes,
got like
the
the
worm-
tiniest set of headphones on the top of his head.
They give them like Javier Bardem's just like bopping away in the background.
Yeah.
Maybe Batista gets involved.
Yeah.
He
Body
he's like,
locking.
He's actually, you know what, you Fremen, you're all right.
Yeah.
So, speaking of worms and dance music, you know,
Okay.
Scotty too high.
yes, you know, Christopher Walken, that Fatboy Slim video is
Yeah.
Weapon of Choice. There's the lyric in that is from Dune, where it goes, "Walk without rhythm, so you won't attract the worm."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they say like you have to walk without rhythm.
What do-
That's why they do.
What
the
do they
weird
say?
Walk, yeah.
What's the walk called? Sand dance or
Sandwalk
sandwalk.
or
Yeah.
So there's a character you haven't spoken about is that woman who is like she's been on Arrakis for a long time and her eyes are turned blue.
Yeah,
She's like become one of the Fremen.
The Doctor?
Yeah, Doctor something.
the Judge of Change.
Judge of
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like she's a pretty cool character.
yeah, very good guy.
So-
She's a bit of throughout a kind of bystander, kind of arbiter, I guess.
Yeah,
What's an arbiter?
Like someone who's a neutral judge.
Okay, right, yeah.
I think.
She's sort of caught between two worlds.
duty and origin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
because
say
she
was-
is a
Duty and home. Duty and home.
Yeah, because
she is a Fremen.
I didn't think she was a native Fremen.
No,
No, they said they. She
she
says,
is a Fremen. I don't know.
I thought that was more of like I'm a
but she does say at
bloody
the.
Fremen,
But she
mate.
does say at the end. Yeah.
Just 'cause-
But because he says you loved a Fremen warrior,
yeah,
which could be interpreted as she loved a Fremen warrior. She's Fremen, but her partner was a warrior,
yeah,
or she was in love with a Fremen warrior. She's not Fremen herself, but has become
yeah.
one of them.
I don't think she's a Fremen because well, it's in the previous version of the story that I saw. They're not, but also just
She literally says she is a Fremen, though.
yeah. But I thought she was like identifying.
Yeah,
as a Fremen.
that's what
Oh,
I mean.
okay.
But I think
She'd
she's
been
become a Fremen because
by that
he
point.
becomes a Fremen.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's like,
but
she had a partner who was a Fremen, so she's learnt the ways that way.
Oh, okay.
But
got you.
also it's just like because she was working for the Emperor. And,
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like one of them would be. But
And the Emperor, we don't see the Emperor at
Don't,
all in this
no.
film. Do you reckon we'll see him?
Because
in
he's the overall
Yeah.
big bad, isn't he? He's going to be the overall big bad.
yeah,
Well, yeah. That'd be.
like he's not as imposing as like the Harkonnens. But
No, I can't imagine he would be.
No, I mean that would
He'd
be
be.
insane. No, he'd just be a xenomorph if he was any more.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Actually, yeah.
For him to be any
If it
more
is just-
grotesque,
is
he
it
literally
just
has to
a
be
Xeno-
alien.
Oh, is that image I sent the other day of the xenomorph Sith? It's just that, isn't
it's
it?
just-
It's
yeah,
literally that on the throne. It's a
Yeah.
muscular xenomorph. I imagine him. I at the moment picturing him more like the. Is he an emperor in that in Hunger Games? Donald
Sutherland.
Sutherland's character in that. That's how I'm sort of predetermining him. I have no idea, but that kind of figure.
Yeah, no.
Kind of similar, not as outlandish dress vibes.
Oh yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
84.
yeah.
It was
in the
pretty
80
toned.
version.
It was
Actually, no,
pretty
I'd
toned
imagine.
down in this one. Like it wasn't. They weren't very over the top with clothes. I don't think.
No, but it was very sci-fi kind of thing like that. But then Star Wars does that, where they like it's robe. Like, there are elements obviously when they go to rich
I
places.
just meant
Star
like
Wars,
the color palette was very toned down.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I liked it. I liked the long.
Well,
I liked
that was-
when they were on their home planet, the long jackets and stuff like that. I liked
Yeah.
all that. That was cool.
No, it was very. The tones were very Denis Villeneuve's, MO. Like
Right.
if you compare it to, it's kind of gritty, but it's still like, there's
Gorgeous to look at.
obviously there's again great to look at. In it flips from like very high saturation single colors to like gritty, big,
Yeah.
very minimalist maybe.
Yeah, like there wasn't a lot of nonsense going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
In the background.
yeah.
A lot of like sort of quite barren rooms and stuff. And a lot of like close up on actors.
Yeah, lots of high ceilings, empty rooms,
Yeah.
Yeah.
vast sizes for no reason
The
whatsoever.
future is minimalist, all right? Just embrace it.
Yeah.
And as you know, as someone who has a lot of just like bric-a-brac, I wouldn't fit in.
no, I'd struggle.
Yeah.
This guy, however,
Yeah, I literally could do that. I literally just a TV in a room would be great.
Mate, you've got too many Funko Pops to.
That's because I keep giving him Funko Pops. That's because I keep giving him Funko Pops. He
I was
doesn't.
gonna say, yeah.
He's not buying
How
them
many
himself.
of them did I buy?
Yeah,
Probably like
literally,
3.
he had like 3. He now has like 20 because I keep buying them for him.
Okay.
What do you think this year? He made sure as a birthday present he didn't buy a Funko Pop. He's trying to steer it away from Funko Pop.
Honestly, mate, look in this room
Yeah.
and tell me what is mine.
Hamster.
Well, he's a guinea pig for one.
Fuck.
So
Hey,
Yeah.
no one owns Boromir.
Yeah.
He's his own guinea pig.
he's his own. He's his own thing.
He's his whole thing.
The Empire Strikes Back poster and the fat off TV. That's it. And the PlayStation.
And a PS5, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I feel like you've kind of. Well, yeah, okay. So this is all Harry's. Like.
Yeah.
That's see, this is more me. What this is Harry's set up here. This is more.
He's pointing at a DVD collection.
different DVD and
just,
like DVDs,
audio
DVDs
medium,
with,
Yeah.
with in like
What about
ornaments
that
and
fish
stuff
tank?
around
Is that,
it.
is that Harry's?
Harry,
Yeah.
Fisher's Harry, yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Harry
can embrace the
Bangs.
future. because I am, going to live forever. So,
Well, yeah.
I'm ready for it now. Gonna have to wait 8,000 years.
He's always been minimalist. Back in
I
the
mean,
cave, the cave
I
drawings are
support
very.
minimalism. I just don't. I just
You
tend
don't
to
adhere to it.
Well, I just seem to accumulate things.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I try my best, and
I mean, I'm too sentimental. I'm too like, oh, they gave me.
this is the thing. I'm not a cold person, but like I get really attached to things, but have no, like, I know I don't need them.
Yeah.
So I can get rid of no emotional attachment, but if I can keep something, I will. Like in the original Pokemon, I very by the time I got to the end game, I struggled to get rid of my original 6 and trade them out because where you got to like have someone else in.
Right.
I very much had the same 6 all the way through those games.
Apparently, as a child, I wept when my crib was given away, even though I no longer needed it. But it was my crib, damn it.
Attachment is attachment. So,
And he says, "Child, this was 2 years ago."
Yeah. It's still too fresh to talk about.
So, okay. What are we giving Dune, and what are we giving it out of?
So
So we're giving it out of 5 watts.
Space worms.
No, it's too obvious. Can't be too
Space
obvious.
twinks.
That's the obscure. What's a space twink?
It's Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, okay.
Just,
No.
Timothy
pretty
Chalamet.
young man. No.
Is it obscure?
Oh, it's just going to make another incest gag.
No more incest gags.
Okay.
It was a one-off weak moment that we've misinterpreted. We've definitely misinterpreted
Yeah,
it.
I know they don't
But
bang.
it's being widely misinterpreted.
So, yeah.
They made
No,
it.
actually, do you know what? I feel like Space Worms is good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Space Worms,
Do you know
okay.
why? Because it is a main focal thing, but it again, the worms didn't even get as much screen time as I'd like.
Yeah.
So let's go back to
Although, I tell you what,
talking about actors. So Andy Serkis playing the worm.
Yeah.
In
so much
in
personality.
mocap,
So much personality.
brings so
brought to
much to the role. So
that. Right.
it's like, oh, Daniel. It's like, heard you were
Hello,
doing
Daniel.
heard you doing the old Dune and
Need someone to play a space
The old slag.
Denis, you big old Canadian slag.
I played the spaceship in Arrivals.
Yeah.
I don't know why I made him like that.
Yeah, it's harking back to the last one. Where the running gag is Andy Serkis is a Cockney.
Whenever
even
he's
though
trying to
not.
recruit people.
And when he's talking to him on the phone, he's obviously pushing the agenda that he should do some form of mocap, even
Actually,
though
Andy,
mocap
I
doesn't
think
really
he'd
do
be
anything.
perfect for this role. Is it a human being? Yeah, there's no mocap involved. Take a roll, shove it straight up your arse, mate. Like they have to lure him onto the set of the Batman by promising that he could be the Batmobile in mocap. Right, but I just have to go back to that character.
Yeah.
Who
What,
we're
the
talking
space
about.
one?
No, the like judge of change. Or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah, sorry.
Right, in the David Lynch version, that's played by Max von Sydow.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a male in the book.
Yeah.
And what I forgot to say about the David Lynch version, the big reason of why it's a bit of a mess, because it actually looks pretty great, besides Sting in pants at one point, for no real reason other than his uncle to perv on him, is that you can hear characters' thoughts. Doesn't work at all. Like, just random characters, you'll be like, I have a bad feeling about this. You know the scene where, like, Duke Lowe proves he's a great guy by ordering, like, he saves a load of men rather than and abandons spice? Like, you know, prioritizes people over, like, profit. Max von Sydow's character, you just see he looks at the Duke and goes, I like this Duke. You just hear it in his head.
What, him can hear thoughts, or just is this peppered through the entire
Throughout the
movie?
film, you'll hear people be like, a character will look off to the distance and you'll just hear their thought.
That's like something that would happen in like a terrible Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, they've all got like a spore in their brain or something, and in this episode or this series, every so often you just hear any of the characters just hearing their thoughts.
Yeah, it's just
terrible.
Well, David Lynch is like famously like his films are mad and like they're really good, but like he's just not someone you would hire to adapt this because it's not really got any of his obsessions other than like, you know, a lot of his films are having like dreams and reality sort of blending together to create something kind of scary. He basically just sort of goes a bit ham on some of the sort of vision bits because you can tell that's more what he's interested in.
Yeah.
He's not that bothered about the story. Also, how they deal with the exposition in the original is they have this beautiful actress Virginia Madsen. She like turns up, gives a monologue explaining all the backstories, just like her in space, like floating around, being like,
I think I've heard about that.
"Yeah, it's insane." She's like,
bit out of the
"Arrakis."
blue.
Yeah, it's right. At the
Even for
start.
this film.
Yeah, right at the start, she's just like Arrakis, otherwise known as Dune, and it's just like 5 minutes of her floating in space.
Nice.
And then you just see her in the background of some scenes. Ludicrous. But anyway, this one wasn't ludicrous, unless you're going to say it's ludicrously good, and that's why I'm giving it 4 space worms.
Nice.
Good save.
Sam, what are you giving out of 5 space worms for Dune?
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it 4, and that's holding back a 5
Holding back a 5
because
or a 0.5?
no, like holding
full
back,
point?
doing a full.
A full space worm.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you think about how big a space worm is as well.
I'm tempted to give it, but purely again, I'm still getting used to this out of 5 thing.
Yeah, out of 5 we've determined is quite hard.
It's hard.
But if you include the points, then I think it's basically.
But we're not doing ridiculous splits where it's like 0.1.
No,
It's
just
out of
0.5.
Yeah.
Like how Roger Ebert used to do out of like
Oh, I realised.
4
like and a
stars,
half,
but it was
yeah,
like 8
Yeah,
stars.
what I realise even now, what I was considering a 3 is actually a 2.5 because midway should be what I'm considering a 3. So that kind of no. Still very much a learning curve. I don't want to give it a 5 purely because I know what from on my other films I know it's a 5 in my head,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm too early with this to do it.
Yeah.
So maybe
that's
giving it a
what
few-
holds it back.
Giving it a
holds
few
things back
weeks,
for me.
or if we were like,
Black Widow,
say
though.
this was already a franchise, it was established, and all the films were out, and we were years later watching it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe then it would get a 5.
Right.
But because it's still early enough, I'm like, right, and I've known my prejudgment in the past. I'm gonna settle on I think a 4. I think a very very
So
good
this
4.
might be controversial, but I don't feel I can give it more than a 4, just because as much as I enjoyed it, I just don't think I can give 5 stars to a film that is like just telling like half of a book.
Yes,
That's what I mean.
nice, yeah.
Exactly. Like I feel like in a few years when this is out and done, and we're watching like we do Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, and I can properly compare it to those, and I've had my few watches and I know it. Once I know it, then I'd be able to give it. Maybe it would get a 5, but I don't want to do that. So I would say, yeah, I think the most I can give it is a 4.
Yeah.
Is a 4.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it was good.
I
Good.
agree with what Sam's logic is in terms of this rating for this film. Because when I think of 5, I think of Lord of the Rings, Empire, like
Even Matrix got 4. You gave Matrix 4.
I know, but see, now you've told me that, I don't know whether to lower it because I don't think it's as good as the Matrix.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's
but that's the thing.
lower than a 4.
Yeah.
No, but this.
Right.
No, but this is the thing. It
just
doesn't.
think
With
it's too
I was thinking about
beautifully
this
done.
with these ratings. It doesn't have to be as good as the film that you've given the points. It has to be within the range of the points between, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, because there'll be a wide berth of things where I'd give a 5, but I still think so. I would give Lord of the Rings and Star Wars a 5, but as much as I love Star Wars, I still consider Lord of the Rings quite a bit higher than that.
Yeah.
So as long as so you've got almost that range between. So it can be a 4, even if you would like it, if you like the Matrix more. But it can't be a 3 if you've got if it's better than
I'm just gonna go for it.
tough.
I'm just
5,
gonna
man,
give
it's
it.
hard.
I'm gonna give it 3.5
Yeah, fair enough.
out of 5 space worms, and it's a very high 3.5.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say any other numbers because let's not split hairs.
It's not
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very high 3.5.
Yeah, that's essentially my very high 4 for me. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's a good 4.
It's beautiful, awe-inspiring, like artfully done, great performances. I'd say 2.5. Yeah, that's what I'm just doing a reverse.
I know.
But yeah, it's it's. I really do think we're at the beginning of the next epic. I do think we are.
I
there's.
I can't imagine kids latching onto it the way they would with Lord of the Rings.
Don't need them to.
Not at all.
This generation won't.
No.
No, but I just don't think any kid kids would latch onto this.
If this had come out when we were kids, you don't think?
No, it's too weird and dark. I mean, look how fun some bits of Lord of the Rings are. This has none of that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
There is there is bare
to
minimum.
Fair enough.
There's no bare minimum.
Joy.
Like comic relief.
Yeah.
You know, there is lines from Jason Momoa trying to let his inner Momoa escape.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no comedy. There's not, again, comedy's probably too much, but there's no comic relief. You know, just to kind of break it up.
Yeah.
There is none of that.
There's no designated character who's just there to be like, oh bloody hell. Most
these
films do that.
these Harkins, eh? You know, what are they like?
Time to take a chill pill.
Yeah.
It's the only thing he hasn't eaten. Am I right? I would play that character if.
I mean, they've made him so grotesque that you have to applaud them, because in this day and age, I thought it'd be quite hard to have something visually that I haven't seen before that is like, ugh. You know, like where your inner child is just like, ugh.
Like they made him look a bit like very much Stellan Skarsgård. Like we know what he looks like, normal looking man, handsome man.
Yeah,
I definitely.
And an older man.
Very handsome family.
Yeah, incredibly. It did not that like Batista's obviously a great guy. There's somewhere, lots of women love Batista, but I did just kind of find it funny when he was like, nephew, just because like I know what people who are related to Stellan Skarsgård look like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But they made him look a bit like Pearl, the big fat vampire from Blade.
Oh yeah.
And I enjoyed that.
Yeah, nice.
So that's why I'm giving it 4 big fat vampires.
Oh, like Zendaya said, this is only the beginning.
0.5.